Okay, so once again, and I did say that I did want to see the new one before it changed again on December 11th, so I got time, and even with all the discourse, I will say this definitively: hey, between this film's success as well as Wicked, that rumors of the musical genre's death have been greatly exaggerated. So as per usual, my plan B, he can offer about talking about a game I'm into, and tonight is no exception. So here are my thoughts now that I've played for the first couple chapters on the spin-off slash prequel Like a Dragon Ishin. Let's begin. The game actually initially came out on the PS3 before its more recent release is on the PS4 and 5. I've with the latter two actually marking the first time the game came out in the United States now that the franchise has established itself as has their developer Ryogaga Toku, who on the West. And it's also just a great example of how effective grassroots with support for a franchise can help its audience grow over time. I'm And keep in mind, while the first couple games weren't huge hits when they first came out, they did at least turn a profit off it, which enabled the devs to keep going and keep iterating, and especially like the concept and story here taking place in the 19th century Japan, and where they've we still see the caste system in play, but it's Cleon slash remnants, and when and the leader of the group is of course murdered by a mysterious masked individual, oh, and a lost fighting style. The protagonist of the game that's been, in this case, is an ancestor of the protagonist, that being like Ryoma Sakamoto. Oh, it actually manages to capture like the flavor of the franchise in a feudal setting. And I was saying, the heat system for attacks, it's actually one of the best implementations I've seen so far in the installments I've personally played. And I also like how I managed to blend again the more serious drama of its story with some more absurdist aspects where you can have where you're trying to find details from an informant and then you end up breaking out into a boss fight in the onsen, and that both can fit the mood of the game perfectly. And I cannot verify whether like the censor Steam is there in the Xbox version of the games. I've not played that one yet, but it actually does make sense to me for that to have to be prevalent because it's a bathhouse. They're known for having lots of hot steam when they're busy, and also find it amusing that a would-be assassin tries to go after you but finds out the bathwater, while both you, the player, and the informant you had to meet with maybe can take it. The assassin's caught off guard by how hot the water is. And also just little details you see just walking by, like again how far you move with the analog stick that moves next how quickly or slowly you move. And also one that nailed the whole chase system where if you're running, your enemy is running. If you're walking, your target's walking. And yes, you can also throw off the trail by doing something as simple as as getting like a piece of Odin or a glass of sake as well. Well, that definitely is one of the simple appeals to these kind of stories where you're involved as like a part of the world that doesn't exist anymore, and a bunch of characters that never have existed at all, such as the case with Majima's ancestor, or at least do the. It's not. I'm not. I mean, at least that's not too far a leap given how that has all the same actors doing the voice of motion capture. At least the ones that, to my knowledge, did not get into trouble while in their neck of the woods. Especially like how, again, one fell same as Majima uh, is very much like turning the whole game that into like a big one. Where's Waldo, trying to find him all the places he pops up on the map. And I am currently on chapter 3, Mibu Wolves, trying to infiltrate the people who have information on who killed the head of my clan. And I'm gonna need to prepare for the boss Shinpachi Nagakura, since, as I mentioned before when talking about previous as titles of RGG, even with the accessibility, all these settings, and setting it to story difficulty, it's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, but I can definitely say that Nagakura is going to be your first instance that things are really going to get more challenging as the game continues. It certainly is, and as per usual, it's as someone who's old enough to remember when Sega started making consoles, I never really saw difficulty as a deterrent, but rather an encouragement to keep learning more and keep finding out more ways to get better. Either, I mean, either by myself or looking up information elsewhere. As they used to say, to be this good takes ages. And as I mentioned before, definitely gonna feel like a big sack of things to give to you. I mean, and also as many are being given to me as well, with Skeleton Crew starting a day early, tomorrow even, with me still having intent to not only get tickets to Moana 2, but also to Sonic 3 as well. As for Craven, that's to be determined. But first, I have something in mind as connected to a work I really loved, both on the big screen and in novel form. You also had to wait and see what it is, though. Anyway, that'll be all for now. I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everyone.